This job is State Route 16, and it goes from 75 to Griffin, Georgia. It's about 9 miles, and it's a widening job. It was a 2-lane job, and they're making it into a 4-lane. Well, on this job, it was just kind of a trial because we got other surveyors that we've hired, so it's kind of a check. It's a checking tool for us to check them because, you know, now with the millimeter stuff, if the grade's not right, it's usually the blue top is wrong. It's become a very useful tool for us to find a way to check the surveyors to make sure they're giving us the right grade, provided that the 3-dimensional file that I made is correct. It's fairly easy to use because all you do is turn the machine on, put the file you want in there that you're grading to, and just let it go, and you're pretty much done. I mean, Michael's doing this whole road all by himself. Let's cut down on the help that we need.
Well, I run the motor grader. I get everything ready get the subgrade ready, get ready for rock, and I get the rock ready for them to pave. When I get here, I have to set up the base station and set my transmitter up. Once I get all that set up, I make sure the motor grader matches the elevation, and I start working. And then usually I can get about 2,000 feet of subgrade done in one day. Without millimeter, you can get about 1,000.
If he has a problem, he sees something wrong with the file, he'll call me up, and then I can email it right to him. They can download it, put it right in the motor grader, and they can be back up, you know, and running in an hour.
Once you get using it, it's pretty easy. It's not too hard to figure out. You don't have to do as much. You just turn it on and just drive the motor grader basically now. 1/4 inch above or below, but most of the time it's right on grade.
Without millimeter, you'd have to have surveyors come out. When you get to the point where they put a stake at the toe of the slope, and then you'd build the slope, and then you'd cut the box out in, and they'd have to put a blue top in. And now with the millimeter stuff, the process is basically the same, but when you come to boxing out, they can have their finished grade surface in there, and there's a function on the motor grader, bulldozer, whatever you can dial down the elevation of the finished surface, and they can cut the box out right from the finished grade elevation.
This shows you where grade is right here. I can do a good bit by myself. Like right now, they usually have them go and do something else, and I can sit here and work half the day or longer by myself with maybe one person help me. And then at the end of the day, we get everybody back together and streamline it, and it's all good. Just streamline it one time. It's a lot easier, a lot less stress. You don't have to do as much. You just turn it on and just drive the motor grader basically now.
I think the top benefit would be speed and then accuracy, because with the millimeter stuff you can tighten up your subgrade. The first time through it'll be closer to grade than just using the standard blue tops. You can get it closer to grade without ever having a blue top. We've got some motor grader operators that have been here for 20 years. But now that they've seen how it works, they're very pleased with what happens. Because they could always get grade on station, it was always that grade in between stations that always threw them off. And the old motor graders, they could do that, the old operators could do that better than the newer guys. And they're the same, the old dinosaurs, they're getting harder and harder to find all the time too. You know, it's a training tool for them to learn how to grade the road via using the motor grader itself as a training tool instead of having somebody else there to train them. If you talk to some of the inspectors and some of the people around, I've heard, you know, the rumors that they're very pleased with what has happened so far. You know, because it's the grade that you get is a lot better. The ride you get's a lot better because it's all maintained by the computer in the motor grader itself. It runs the blade automatically.
It'll save you a lot of time and make your work day a lot easier.